Hey everybody, it's Kate Richburg and it is Saturday Stitchin'. We're going to have a fun morning of experimentation, trying to move things around a little bit here. I hope everybody's good on this Saturday morning. You can see if you grabbed, let's see who's here though first. Oh, there's a bunch of you here. Hurrah! I love it. Everyone's here. I think Janice, yes, Janice is here doing some moderating. So it's great to have you all. Looks like you guys have been on for a while chatting, which I love, love, love. I love this so much. It's great to have you all here. We're going to have some fun today. So first and foremost, let me tell you, and I'm back at my desk because I wanted to sit down today while I'm doing this. So let me tell you, here's good morning, Leslie. Good morning, Mama. I'm surprised that you're not here. Ma, I thought for sure I'd get a text this morning saying that you were coming over, but hello. She's just 5 minutes away. I needed some coffee. I was on Saturdays, I like to have my office in bed. So this morning I was working on some things, had some pillow propped up, had some cats around me and stuff. So that's always good. It's always good to have a little morning work time with your office mates being cats, which is awesome. Kelly, I'm sorry that your ex has had a broken leg. I hope this little bit of distraction will be good for you. Gosh, everyone's here. I love it. So let me show you a couple of things that I've got going on here. If you opened your email this morning, your newsletter, you saw, let me get over here maybe. You saw that let's see, there I am. Here I am. You saw that I did a little Miyuki sale. Not a little Miyuki sale, a pretty big Miyuki sale. Miyuki 22 at checkout. And you've already been shopping this morning, which thank you so much. Every Miyuki, Tylas, Delicas, 8-aughts, 11-aughts, 15s. If it's a Miyuki drops, spacers. If it's a Miyuki, it's on sale. And I know some of you have been waiting for this sale. I don't know what, I'm distracted by my crazy hair, what's going on here, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. I know that you've been waiting for this sale. A lot of you have. So Miyuki 22, good through tomorrow night. Today, if you're watching live, it is Saturday, March 8th. It's good today and tomorrow. It ends tomorrow, midnight Pacific time. Reminding you that also tomorrow, we hit daylight savings, right? We made it. The light is returning. I'm going to put the coupon code right here. Let me add this and let me show that. There we go. Miyuki 22. I think it's spelled correctly. So that's the story. Daylight savings tomorrow. Spring is springing. All kinds of good stuff, right? So, so let me show you what I did. Miyuki 22. I have it right, JP? Miyuki 22. Thank you. I have it there on the screen. You know, some people love daylight savings time. Some people hate it. I love the extra hour of light at night. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if it's lighter, I feel like I get more stuff done. Which is good. So daylight savings is coming back. It's coming back. Yes. It'll be a little darker in the morning, but I'm all right with that. That only means maybe I'll sleep in just a tad more. Anyway, let me show you what I did. Oh, Karen K says Rosie is her cat. Her cat's the one that dislikes it. I love it. I know. So Sue, we'll be on the same time zone, won't we? I think starting tomorrow. I don't know. I can't. I can't keep up with time zones really for sure, but I like it that it's going to be darker later, which is awesome. Okay, so let me add my camera to the stage here, and let me show you what I've got going on. First and foremost, I've got a new, let me see if this is gonna, let me move this around. We got this new beading surface. Let me put this up here. We got this new beading surface, and I thought I would try it out, and I would like to know what you people think. Ruth, welcome. So Ruth, the Miyuki 22, you can't combine with other coupons. And I'm sorry, since we're a small business, we don't have free shipping, but the shipping is $4.95. You can, also though, you will get, loyalty points for your purchase. And I will say that we here at beadshop.com have the most generous loyalty points program in the bead world. So you can hop on over to Bead Shop, check out our loyalty points program. For every $100 that you spend, let me put myself up. It's a great question. For every $100 that you spend, you get 10 points. Right? No, I'm lying to you. Let me read my own loyalty program. Sorry. You redeem at $100. So for every dollar you spend, you get a point. Right? Then you can, when you have 100 points, you can redeem those for a $10 coupon code. And you can stock up your points, and you could redeem up to 100 points at a time. So if you save it up, you can give yourself like a really big gift. Okay, so jump over. If you go over to Bead Shop, you'll see the loyalty points program, and it's great. Essentially, you get $10 back for every $100 you spend. That's kind of how it goes. Okay, so some things aren't applicable, like Bead Shop Studio. You can't cash those in. You could cash points in though during sales, and you can, if the sales are on the website. It's like a coupon, so you can't combine two coupon codes. That's what I want to tell you. Anyway, I'm probably making it more confusing than it needs to be. Jump over to the website. I have it written down very succinctly and easy to understand over there. So yeah, so that's that. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Ruth, you may be watching. Are you watching on the Kate Richburg YouTube or the Bead Shop YouTube? We're also going out on, because Sharon's like, where's Ruth? Is she on YouTube? Come on over. I think she might be on the Kate Richburg YouTube. We're going out on the Kate Richburg Jewelry Educator Facebook page, the Bead Shop Facebook page, the Bead Shop YouTube channel, and the Kate Richburg YouTube channel. All over. We're all over. Right? Oh, Karen says she's here. Perfect. All right. Good. So that's a little bit about that. Let me get to this thing. Let me do this. Poor Ruth. Ruth's all, you guys are way too friendly. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I like to chat. Saturday, especially, my friends, is really casual. So we just chat, and we chat about everything from soup to nuts for sure. So let me take some more coffee in and then talk to you about this bead board. So this is a new one that we got. It's pretty big. It's a big surface. It is like over a foot long. And okay, good. I'm glad we didn't chase you away. Perfect. We're pretty chatty and here. About a foot long and a little over a foot wide. And it also comes with a lid, right? So, and it comes, this thing is separate. I don't want to pick it up because I've already put my beads in it, but this is a little kind of extra add-on. I'll show you the thing. So this board, sorry, I just hit the camera. It comes with a lid like this, right? So you can kind of put a lid over this, though it looks like the static is taking up some of these beads, but that's okay, right? Hopefully it won't take up too many. Good to know. It's the first time I'm using this, really. Let me see if I can get it off without getting these beads all over the place. So there it is, like that. It's a handy little tray. And then the add-ons, you can get this seed bead separator. Let me get these off of there. This seed bead separator and this mat. It's a lot of static though, right? But I like it. So I think we might add it in. We'll see. Okay. We'll see. I'm going to play around with it a little bit. You know us, we like to test and see everything that we work with. So, but so far so good. I think I like it. Yes, now I have these beads that are already mixed, but I'll just put them over there because I'm going to be using them anyway. Okay, so what I did was, because yesterday, well, Chris was making pizza because Friday night's pizza night. I remembered that way back in the day, I had bought a beading design tool called, what's it called? I've got it right here. It's called Bead Tool. And it's a tool where you can design in different stitches, right? And our friend Danielle Wickes, she's going to be here in a couple of weeks. You know, Danielle designed some really cool pieces for us. A couple of really great bracelets, that mosaic bracelet, that other fun. Let me see if I can get them. Let me show you. You can look at that. Let me see. I think they're over there. I know that a lot of you have seen them already, but Danielle has really been inspiring me with her ability to design patterns and stuff, right? And I'm like, you know what? I've never designed like a gridded seed bead pattern before in my life, right? I'm not sure her other one is, so I'll show you this one. This is a great one. This is that that mosaic that got us started on the 10-aughts, right? Let me put it under the camera. We're going to use 11-aughts today, but you could use 10-aughts for sure. There it is, right there. Oh, that's a great tip, Robin. She uses a dryer sheet and wipes down her mat and cover to stop static. Excellent. I'll have to get some dryer sheets. That's great. Good tip. So I thought, I can design some things, and I love like bugs and butterflies. I love this kind of motif. So I searched in my computer for Bead Tool, and I had it, and I actually had my login, which was kind of amazing. And then I went, so it's basically a grid. You can choose and you can look it up. It's online, Bead Tool, right? It's a program. Basically, you can decide like what size bead you're using, what stitch you're using. It gives you a grid. You can make it as big as you want it to be. And then you can start drawing, start like coloring in, right? It's kind of like a light bright kind of a thing. So yeah, it's really easy to use, right? And and Miranda jumped in. There she is. And I forgot to wish everybody a happy International Women's Day. Thank you, Miranda. I think she's out and about. She and JoJo are going to go play kickball on their kickball team. So I hope you're out and about and having a great day. Don't you come by this office. But yes, happy International Women's Day to all of you out there, because we're doing it. We're getting things done, right? And so essentially what I did was I went and I found some clip art that kind of was this butterfly outline, sort of. I put it behind. What you can do is you can put it behind the grid, and then you can start filling things in. Okay. So, Janice, I am going to post this. I just wanted to make sure before I gave it to everyone. I'm going to test it today. Before I gave it to everyone, I wanted to test it. So we're going to test it together, and then I'll post it. Margaret, I have a light bright. I actually have two light brights. A couple of years ago, both Drea and Ellen sent me a light bright for Christmas. So I have two of them. Light bright was my favorite, was my favorite toy when I was little, for sure. So basically you play around with it. It spits out this pattern. You spit out this pattern, right? You print it out. And this is an 11/aughts, but this could be in any bead, right? It's brick stitch, and it's single drop brick stitch. But this could be brick stitch in 11/aught Rochelles, 11/aught Delicas, 8/aughts, 6/aughts. It doesn't matter, right? The bead doesn't really matter, right? So, and it looks giant. It's not going to be this giant. So the rows, it tells you how many rows and how many columns and how big this is. So this has 52 columns, which equals a little more than 3.5 inches across. So that's about this big, right? And 48 rows down, which is about 2.5 inches, which is about this big. Okay. So you can make this, you can make a piece larger, smaller. It doesn't matter. I don't know. But I went with this. I have no idea. This is the first time I've ever done this. So it may end up a big mess. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But this could also, like, let me look at, let me use, this is peyote stitch, not brick, but this one that that Danielle did, it's about 1 1/8 inches across right here. And so if this were going to be a bracelet, or something, I mean, you could make a giant cuff or something like that. It'd be 2.5 inches like that. So you can see it's kind of a little more than twice this length. And then 3.63 inches is about this far. So you could create like your own motif that, you can then kind of add on to it or whatever. This is my very first foray into this kind of designing. Okay. So, so I chose some colors. It spits out the colors that it has a color guide for Delicas. I kind of I didn't put the colors that we had in. I just kind of used colors that I liked. And then I'm going to kind of translate it into what I have here. So let me show you. So I put down, here's my beads right here. And, I thought it'd be kind of fun to play around with designing, right? I mean, I urge you to do it. You don't have to do something like this, with a computer program. We have different graph papers on Bead Shop, right? So you can color them in with some colored pencils or outline them or whatever. Emily's shown how to do that, and it's really super fun. So we'll see where this motif gets us. So I chose for the butterfly background, I wanted something that had a little bit of, not color, but a little bit of visual texture. So I used the Miyuki in the Black Picasso, which I love, love, love. Oh, and thanks, JP, for putting that up. You can find it right over on Bead Shop. It's right there. And we have a whole bunch of different ones, right? So this Picasso, let me double check what this is the 2261, this. And then I chose some different ones. I chose this Bayberry 2132. This one is 2407. So a little bit of a different blue. I chose a metallic 2515. And then I chose two different whites, off-whites, right? I chose the AB and then the regular matte cream. Okay. So we'll see what happens. I have no idea what's going to happen. I have one too many colored beads than I do here. I have just the two blues here, but I might substitute these whites for the blue. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Who knows, right? This is still in the designing stage. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put my pattern next to me right here, and I'm using a ruler to kind of help me keep track. Okay, so I know that I need 52 across, right? And I'm going to start the base row of your brick stitch is always ladder. So this one is going to start with ladder. Now, 2407. Thanks, Miranda. This is eucalyptus right here. Love. So if this were shaped, like I could take this whole like thing out. I would need a background here maybe. I could make this shaped brick, but for simplicity, I'm going to make it kind of a rectangular shape so I don't have to increase and decrease on the sides. Okay. So let me start with the top row. And I think I'm going to do the background in the AB color. Okay, like this. Yeah, this is the Picasso black, Karen, so I think it might be a little bit easier for me to see. We'll see. We'll see, right? All right, so let's see if I can thread my needle. I was going to use black, but I think I'm actually going to use white. I was going to use smoke, but since the background of this is the off-white, I think I'll use that because the thread is going to show around the edges too, right? So I'm going to switch my thread color. You could also use KO if you wanted to. Here's some 4-pound. I think I'm going to use 4-pound. I don't know. That's what I have here. You could use KO if you wanted. I'm going to use Fireline just because I've been using Fireline a lot lately, and I like it. So I'm using Delicas, Janice. These are all Delicas. 11-aught Delicas. Okay? But you could use, as long as all of your beads are the same, right? You could use whatever you liked, right? As long as they're all even colors. Where did my thread snips go? Oh, I thought I grabbed my thread snips. But here's that. And here's some, I'm going to use size 10 beading needles. Okay. It's also kind of hard to see on this white background. I have a little piece of, move those over there. I've got a little piece of the green ultra suede here to work on too, so it's a little bit of a better background. All right, so to start with brick stitch is kind of like my new favorite thing right now. I was my first stitch, that seed bead stitch that I ever did, right, was peyote. I'm a big peyote stitch fan, but brick stitch is really coming in at a close second. I'm flattening the end here of my fire line, and I'm going to pull it right next to my thumbnail, and I'm going to needle the thread. And Carolyn is saying here, she just joined, are we making bead patches? You know, we weren't. I mean, we were just making bead pictures, but this would make a great patch, right? Like I could make that butterfly. I could stitch it onto something like the ultra suede or something like that. We could bead around it more and we'd have a patch. Thank goodness, Carolyn, that you're here. Excellent suggestion. It's Caroline, maybe. Caroline, not Carolyn. Caroline, I think. All right. Let me needle that thread and pull it through. So now I'm going to kind of unmix these because I think these are the AB, the cream AB that got kind of mixed up in that, with that lid. Okay, so to start with your ladder stitch, I'm going to get in a little tighter here. Bear with me here just a second. And for those of you who have joined later, I'm going to make sure that this pattern works, and then you'll see it in tomorrow's newsletter, and I'll also post it on the website. Okay? So let me get a little tighter in here. All right, there we go. So to start brick stitch, pretty simple. We're going to start by making a ladder row. Since this isn't a shaped piece, right, I'm just going to start at the top and work my way to the bottom. Though with brick, you could start anywhere. You could start in the middle with a ladder stitch and work up and work down. Doesn't matter. Doesn't make any difference. Okay. So here, 2 beads together. I put 2 beads on. I go through in a circle, and we're going to start our base row. Okay, let me zoom out just a little bit. I love all this chocolate talk that everybody is having. When we were in London over the summer last year, you know, I lived in London for a while. I went to school there, and in my early 20s, and Cadbury milk was my favorite. So Chris and I, you know, because Cadbury here in the US and in the UK, 2 different things, right? So I introduced Chris to the Cadbury milk, and we brought a whole bunch back. So good. Okay, so this brick stitch essentially, and we've got a lot of brick stitch tutorials, but I'm making the ladder stitch to start the ladder base row. Can you see that? Like this. I put 2 on to start, and then I just keep going through adding your bead. So here I've added that bead to the right, gone down to the bead on the left, come back up the bead on the right, and then add another. Okay, so I'll add this one, come up below, Go down through. And now I'll add my next one. Go through. Come up. And we're just making this row. Miranda. Makes Miranda want to have a Toblerone for sure. 2, 4, 6. I need to put on 50. What did it say? How many are on here? So I'm going to go kind of fast. Okay, I'm going to go at Kate speed, so we're not doing this too crazy here. So here we go, like this. And then we'll see how long this is going to be. Whoops, sorry. I love all this chocolate talk. Yes, See's candy, so good. Our favorite here. But I am an equal opportunity chocolate lover. I like dark chocolate and milk chocolate. White chocolate is dead to me. White chocolate is not, don't even get it near me. I don't care for it. I don't want to know. Right? We did, so when we went to school in London, I was 21, leaving the US for the first time, right? Leaving a small town. When we got there, we took a kind of a short European tour, and then we've settled down to school in London. And our 8-day European tour, I think we might have eaten a bar of Toblerone a day, right? It was just, it was crazy. Yeah, it was good. It was fun times. But yeah, Cadbury milk, delish. I also bought a box of all sorts because, tradition. Let's see where we are with this. So far, so good. Okay, and it's going to look a little wonky, right? But you're going to come back through and you're going to fix it. Okay, so don't worry about it. So far. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. We're getting there. We just have to keep going. Saturday stitch-in, Saturday, Sunday, whatever the heck day it is. We're a little more casual. So I'm just working on on a project, kind of designing, kind of playing around. So I'm not feeling any pressure to go fast or finish or, whatever. So if you're here along for the ride, that's awesome. The full video will be up, of course, as always, on our YouTube channel and stuff. So if you can't finish watching me today, or you're like, you know what, I want to see how the end comes out, etc., you can just find it on YouTube and play around with it there. Okay. So here, I'm going to keep going. So every year, it's getting towards Easter time. I don't know if you had this tradition, but here growing up in California with See's Candies, See's was a big, we'd always get our Easter eggs at See's, and they used to decorate them. You used to be able to get them super fancy pants, right? Like that. And she, my mom, we would get them. So yeah, it would always be fun. So still for Easter, that is our tradition of getting See's candy eggs. Bordeaux is everyone's favorite, though we also like the coconut, and I also like the Mayfair, which is kind of the cherry chocolate one with walnuts, I think it has. I love this, Karen K. Thank you so much. Watching me is more important than today's cleaning. Thank you, my friend. I agree. Let's put cleaning off. Though I think Chris is already doing yard work and fixing up the yard and planting flowers and getting everything ready. That's why I think Alfred isn't in here. I think Alfred's out with Chris this morning. Whoops, I want to go back up this one. I'll put on a few more and then we'll count. Okay. Here we go. So let's take a look. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23. Almost halfway there. 52. Okay. I love it that so many of you love See's candies as much as I do. I'll probably have to bring, Janice is, she loves those See's lollipops. I sent her some for the holidays. Maybe I'll bring some to the retreat. They're so good. So good. So tradition, such a tradition. There we go. Right? Remember, June, See's would decorate your egg? It used to be so fun, right? To get that decorated egg. And I would just like look at mine for a while, right? And then when I was afraid it was going to start to get stale, I would start cutting it up. I love it. Margaret, you had the candy tradition. Whoops, I'm moving these over. The candy making tradition. My gran also loved to make candy. Gran made a very like world famous fudge, right? Everyone loved my gran's fudge. And my mom still makes fudge. And as you know, my mom also makes peanut brittle. Around the holidays, we put the peanut brittle recipe in the newsletter. But yeah, the fudge was so good. But I love making candy too. I make toffee sometimes. Candy making really feels like your magic, right? Like it's alchemy, right? It feels like you're a wizard. But you've got to have a candy thermometer. If you don't have a candy thermometer, it'll all go south. Let's see. Did I do that right? Yeah. This base row, you know, like any kind of project with seed beads, like look at that base row. Now it's just looking, I haven't been pulling it very tight. Let me go back in and kind of fix it. But when I go back through, I always, for the base ladder row, I go back through, you kind of have to go back through and stitch it down, right? There we go. Curtis, I love that tradition. We were a kite flying family as well. And I love that it was your Easter tradition. We were a big kite flying family. I have no idea why we were. I don't know. But we loved kites. I still love kites. I haven't been kite flying in forever. But we used to go, my mom and dad, and when my sister and brother, when we were all together, we'd go to the park and fly kites, right? It was so fun. I love that. Love, love, love. Let's see, 2. I don't think I'm there yet. 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Closer, ever closer. I always like the big, giant, like kites, the big, like dragon kites and stuff. We lived out in the country, so we had a good kite flying space to fly kites in. So sometimes I'd fly a kite in the backyard. I don't know. It was really fun. It was really fun. I'm sure my mom remembers. We had a really good time with the kites. Let's see. I love how everybody I love sharing traditions, right? And what I really love about sharing traditions from all over the world, because we have people who are watching worldwide, which I love. Our neighbors to the north in Canada, neighbors to the south in Mexico, neighbors across the pond in the UK, and all over, right? Love it. We're very fortunate that we can just come around the bead table and bead together, which is awesome. But I love hearing everyone's traditions, whether we come from, um, whatever backgrounds, religious backgrounds, non-religious backgrounds, ethnicities, countries, whatever. It's cool to learn about other people and how they celebrate their traditions, right? It's really, I think it's important. I think it's important to learn about your neighbors and, people that do things differently than you do and have different holidays than you do. And yeah, because right now it's Ramadan, I think. It's still Ramadan, I believe it is. I have to look at my calendar. But, growing up, I didn't know about Ramadan, right? But it's interesting to learn about the foods. I've been looking at like traditional foods that people cook during Ramadan. So interesting. My dad's Armenian, so we made a lot of really delicious Armenian food growing up. And, I don't know. It's like the heart and soul of the family or your chosen family, right? When you sit and you eat and you have a lot of fun, right? With that. So let me count these up. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 41. Okay. This would be 42. Almost there. 43. Down and up. 44. 45. Hopefully I'm counting these right. That's why I'm counting out loud. 46. 47. 47. That was 47. This is 48. This is 49. This would also look good in the 10-aught delicas too. Be a little bit bigger. I think that was 49, right? I'm going to count them again anyway, because I can't trust myself. 50. 51. And 52. I just glanced up at the chat. Bonnie, you're making clay rabbits today? I love that. I love it. Yeah, I'd like to know what everybody is making today, right? I hope you're making along with me. Yeah. Love it. Love. Yeah, Lent also started, right? Ash Wednesday was this Wednesday, right? This past Wednesday. So yeah, springtime for sure. Oh, before I do this though, let me count. Okay, let me count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52. Okay. Phew. I love it. I love it. I love it. Flowerpot said she's making trouble. Good girl. We all got to make some trouble. Love it. So I'm just going to come back in and I'm going to tighten up the base row here. So it's all nice and neat. And it gives it a nice, even kind of stitch across. I don't want to cut corners. Let me do it right. I need to go through each one and down. I just need to reverse the stitch. So let me not rush. Because I skipped that one and that one's a little wonky. But see how it straightens up? Can you see that? Right? Can you see it? There we go. Oh, do you have some kitty cats making some noise there? Yeah, no cats here. No cats making noise. But we haven't let the kitty cats out lately because we've got some strays. We haven't had strays around here, but we've got some strays prowling the neighborhood a little bit. So, yeah. Ollie got in a tangle. Oh, baby squirrels. Oh, love. I bet they're real cute. But yeah, we've been trying to keep them in. Ollie got in a tussle the other day. Alfred's too soft. He'd be like, hey, friend. But Ollie didn't want any other cats in the yard. So he said, no way. You get out of here, buddy. But fortunately, no one was hurt. So we're trying to keep an eye out for them. It's a big, big Ginger Tom. He's a big guy. Yeah, Ollie was fierce. You know, I always call Ollie the baby and like that he's such a little baby, but he's 5. Right. He's a big boy. And he's fierce. He's a killer, that kitty. He didn't take anyone's business. He told that cat to get lost. All right. I know, starting a project, isn't it tedious, my friends? I want to push the fast forward button on this base row, but so I want to at least get to some of the pattern, right? So I'm just going to persevere, hang out, or go put the laundry in and then come back, whatever, you know. There we go. Yeah, that's looking pretty good, except this one kind of turned. But, you know, once I get another row underneath here, it'll fix. I could have also, thinking about it now, I could have also made this top row 2-drop. So it would be a little more solid. So maybe I'll make the next row that I do 2-drop, right? Because I've got some space here, right? And this is just a suggestion, right? So, so I think I'm going to do 2-drop on it. Yeah, I know those big tomcats are, you know, they're fighters for sure. That's why we were really worried. But Chris got out there. I know Miranda was here too, and they got out there, and Ollie wasn't gonna. He was not having it. But so hopefully he chased him away. I don't know. I haven't seen him around. But no more unsupervised outside time for at least right now. Right. So, yeah. And everybody stays in the yard. Ollie doesn't go anywhere. He's too, I think, afraid of the wide world. Alfred's too fat to jump the fence. And the lady, Florence, just wants to sit in the sun. So, you know. There we go. This is shaping up. Okay. So, I think I'll try 2-drop. Oops. Just to make it go a little bit faster for this next row. So that was 52 across. Okay, so this has this pattern when I charted it out on bead tool 4, it said it had 48 rows. So we'll see. Now, brick stitch is really easy to add on to, right? Like if I wanted to add something else on at the top or the bottom or whatever, I could, right? But for now, we've got that. Okay, that looks good. So here's my base row. It's still a little funny right there, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. All right. Let me see if I can focus this up. Whoops. There it is. That focused. Okay. Okay. Let's do some 2-drop. This is my tail. I'm just going to kind of ignore it. So with 2-drop, remember when you this is, there we go. When you start the brick stitch row, right, you put the first 2 on. So I'm going to put on 1 row, but it's going to be 2, right? So I actually put on 4. 2 and 2. And I'm going to come in, and since this is not an increase row or a decrease row, I'm just going to put it through and under the first thread bridge. Okay. So I'm doing that. These stand up next to one another like that. Can you see that? And now I go up and through that second row. There we go. So there's our first 2. That's good. Let's go with that. Okay. Clarissa's saying that she would like to make a butterfly display box with beaded butterflies, which I think would be cool for sure. So there we are. I'm going to go down. Hang on, I think I'm caught here. Let me get this. I'm going to get this a little closer to my, it's out of frame for a second. Bear with me here just a minute. I thought I came back up, but I think I split a thread. That's when white on white thread is kind of hard to see. There we go. All right. Okay, here we go. I fixed that. So now we're here. Okay, sorry about that. I took it out of the frame for a second. Okay. So now we just brick stitch. 2 beads on, under the thread bridge, and up through the 2. When it comes to the pattern, though, I don't think I want to do 2 drop, right? I mean, I think I can do, it depends. I'm not sure if I can set the pattern maker to do 2 drop. But I think you get the most detail with the single. But here with just the white background, 2 drop I think will go faster. I should have done 2 drop at the beginning too, because there are 4 rows above to start. But I might just do 3 across. God, this white on white, I should have used smoke. It's hard for me to see. I'm also using this size 10 needle, which I feel is a little big. I feel like I want a 12. I think I'll change it out. Because going in like this, in between the thread bridges, this needle just feels really, really big. So yeah, so Bonnie, this is brick stitch. Simple, to the point. We have a lot of brick stitch projects on Bead Shop. Brick stitch is fast. It is great for like pictures, right? Because everything lines up pretty well. Let me see if I can find a size 12 needle. This size 10 needle is going to drive me crazy. Let me find my box of needles. Miranda flourished them at me yesterday. And I just need to find them. There they are. So I think using a smaller, yeah, here's a 12. These are color eye needles. Using a 12 I think is going to be a little bit better. Can you see the size difference between those 2 needles? Right. Yeah, I find them more flexible as well. This is kind of stiff. I'm just not, it's just not the right thing. So I'm going to use a 12. We get it here. Let me needle the thread. Let me get a little closer down to my thumbnail. It's a little bit harder. Sorry, I have to get it into my field of vision. It is a lot easier to thread those size 10s, though, I'll tell you. There we go. Okay. So here we go. Yeah. 1,000 times better. Through, under that thread bridge, connecting these 2 beads, through and up. Right? Nice. Clarissa has a question, and we kind of have an answer for you. Clarissa says, Janice, will there be a project created to celebrate Women's History Month? You know, I am a big fan of like my leather bracelets and stuff, and I always name them after adventurous women or authors or, you know, things like that. Janice is actually creating a project as we speak, and it is a good one for Women's History Month because it really does have the history of this woman-owned business in it. It is the 5-stitch bracelet. We haven't done a 5-stitch in years and years and years. And it really is something that reflects all of the techniques for wrap bracelets for us here at Bead Shop. It's a really beautiful piece. You're going to see it in a few weeks. Janice has really pulled out all the stops with it. Let me make sure that's right. Yeah. So, in a sense, it's kind of a Women's History Month kind of a project, though I'd like to do something else. I'm not sure what I would do. So if you have any ideas, I'd like to know, right? A good question about the size 12 needles. Let me see. Shorter 12s, or does it affect the flexibility? I had one snap. You know, I find that size 12s have a tendency to, the thinner the needle is, I think the more they have a tendency to snap. We carry these John James English beading needles, which I find are pretty long lasting. I think that the beading needles are all pretty long, right? It's the sharps, those size 10 sharps, that are shorter, right? So most of these beading needles are pretty long. Look how nice this is shaping up. And see that 2 drop to begin. See what a nice, now the row is really looking nice. Robin, really good. I'll put your comment up about Fireline dulling your scissors. 100%, which is why we carry the Xuron thread and cord cutter. The Xuron thread and cord cutter that we carry has a serrated edge, so it grabs that Fireline and cuts it very, very well. But it's good to know you ordered fishing line scissors from Amazon. I'll have to look and see what those look like. Because, yeah, the Fireline is a stiff thread that will definitely dull your scissors for sure. I love it that everybody has rescue cats. All 3 of our babies are rescue cats, literally rescued from the streets. Alfred I found under a bush at 4 weeks old, as you know. Ollie we found when we had the bead shop office. He started living in the back alley. He was just a little baby, about 3 months old. And then Florence we actually rescued from a friend of ours. Her father passed away, so we took Florence. So somehow we ended up with 3 black kitties. all rescued, and they all get along really well. Yeah, I think those rescue cats, they're always so grateful, right? Well, not always, but a lot of times they are. Like Alfred, he's so spoiled. He's just a spoiled baby. They're all spoiled. All of them, each and every one. Okay. So I'm starting to think ahead with this project. And like I said, with brick stitch, you can work from the top down, from the bottom up, and from the middle outwards. If this had a shape to it, oops, I can't really see. There we go. If this had, like, if this were shaped brick stitch, right, like a diamond shape or something, a lot of times I start at the widest part, right, like this, and then I'll go up and then going down, right? So, because I think sometimes it's easier to start at a wide point and taper down, right? That's what I do a lot of times. But it just depends on what you're comfortable with. I would, if you haven't done much brick stitch, this is probably a good way to start. I don't know. Emily has some really good, really very simple earring projects that are a great one. It's the ones I'm wearing today. I've been wearing them a lot these past few weeks. This top right here is brick, right? And then you taper out or increase at the edges, right? And then just from the bottom, you add the fringe. So it's actually a very small piece of brick stitch, which is pretty fast and easy. Not like this one. This one is pretty slow going, but it's all right. We'll get there. Tighten it up. Keep that tension. See the difference? Let me show you the difference in the tension. I'm really glad that that I did this 2-drop here. And after this, I'm going to go right into the pattern. After this, if I want to add another row, I can do it at the top. I might add like an outline row all the way around to kind of frame it. I don't know. But I like the idea of the beaded patch, right? That's kind of fun. So this could definitely be stitched on some backing fabric. Then you can continue to embellish it around. There we go. Tighten that up. Yeah, I like these brick stitch earrings a lot. They work up really quickly. It's kind of a classic design. Those are in 11/aughts. You can make them even more delicate by using 15s. You can make them be delicas, 11/aughts. Those are 11/aught rounds, Rocals. I'm going to be careful not to catch the end of this. Getting a little close to that edge, so it'll want to catch. So I'll put it between my fingers to keep from wrapping the thread around it. So yeah, good question, Clarissa. These do go from, so where Emily starts these, let me show you, I'll lay this out right there. Emily starts this earring with a ladder stitch in the center. Okay. And then she goes up and decreases and then goes down, maybe makes one more row, and then does the fringe. I find starting small and increasing can be a little, not difficult, but I feel like it's easier to start at your widest part and work up. There we go. Like that. Okay, let me get a few more here. Stitch it through. Work up like that. So this past weekend, I should have brought some things to show you, some other things that I'm making, but I will. I did a lot of sewing this past weekend when I stayed at my buddy Susan's with her family. We did a lot of sewing. We did some bag sewing. I made some project bags, which were really fun. I'm making some project bags for my France trip for my students who are sewing. We still have one space available for that France trip, so it's full, but we have the option to take one more. So if you want to come sew with me in France, we're going to have fun times. And then we're also planning on what we're doing for the retreat. Janice and Emily and I had our first retreat meeting this week. You'll be getting an email, those of you who are going, will be getting an email from me soon. If you didn't get a chance to sign up and you want to be on our waiting list, usually we get a couple of cancellations. So we've got one person on the waiting list so far. But if you want to be on the waiting list, do email me and let me know. This is where the base row gets a little funny. So let me see. See there, see how this bottom bead, it's sitting wrong. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. Let me zoom in. How am I going to fix this? See this? My stitching, something happened. Something was off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. That one's off too. This bead is sitting sideways. So I'm going to go back through and straighten everything out. There we go. Ish, maybe. I obviously stitched that wrong. Let me see if I can fix it. Okay, I'm going to turn it right. Now I'm going to go through all three of this stack, and see if I can get it to sit right. Sorry, I'm a little low on the camera. Once you have these base rows kind of fixed nicely, it'll be a little bit easier. See this one, it's this one that's next to it is the culprit. I'm going to stitch around one more time. Let me see if I can turn it. Let me go through here. These two. Let me go through this bottom one. I must have stitched it like in backwards, or I don't know what I did. Stitch it through. I need to turn it. So let me go back one more row. Sorry, I'm out of frame there. I don't know if this is making it any better or worse, or if I should just ignore it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick out the stitches I just did. And let's see what we've got here. Can you see that? Let me... If I were doing this in real life and not demo time, I don't know. It would kill me to have to pull this out, but I'm not going to pull it out because I'm going to move forward with it. But let me see if I can unstitch it and maybe fix it a little bit. I can use my awl. I'm using the eye of the needle here. Let me see, where is that one coming from? Nope. Let's see. Just be patient. It'll come out eventually. There we go. Just kind of wiggle it around. Let's see if we can get this one. I'm bending this needle because I'm using it to pull the thread out. Let's see, where does that thread go? I think it goes right here. No? Well, see, this is what happens. It happens to all of us, right? Sometimes you just have a snarl. I'm pushing this through to see if I can see where that thread ends up. See, here's my... I feel like it's this thread, but it's not. Is it this one? It's easier when you're at home and you don't have 100 people watching you try to untangle this. There it is. There it is. Right there. All right. Now, see if I can get this out. I think I just stitched it. I want to take it back. I want to take that line off. There we go. Then we'll see where it's going to go. Okay, that comes out. This comes out. And I'm going to take this one out too. Then we'll see what we see. Okay, there it is. That goes out. That goes out. Okay. So let me see what's up with this base row. It looks like I stitched it I think it's just stitched wrong maybe here somehow. See that right there? So I think what I want to do is I want to fix this business here. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can focus that. All right. I'm going to get another piece of Fireline. And I want to weave this so it sits right. Let me get a, oh, that's a 10. I don't want a 10. I want a 12. Let me get my 12s. Mm-hmm. Needle the thread. I need to get it into my line of vision. Sorry. There we go. All right. Okay, so I'm going to start this over here. I don't want the thread that I was using to get tangled. So I'm going to go through here. And we go down here. Okay. Now I'm going to focus on the base row. And I'm just going to re-ladder stitch this down here. Because if I'm going to do it, I don't want it to look like a big old mess. There we go. And we'll go to this. That's the where things are goofing up. Then I go down the next one. Actually, I go back to that one. Whoops. Oh, shoot. I'm going to take that off. There we are. Let me put this on the background. And I go up there. Now I'll catch the next one. This next one that's sitting funny. There we go. Tighten it. Go to that one. Yeah, I think I screwed up on my going back through with the ladder stitch, or I don't know. I was probably reading comments and stuff. There we are. Back on the straight and narrow, right? Just a couple more because it's still a little wonky. And I don't want to run into that issue again, so I might as well just keep reinforcing it. I'm glad I chose 4-pound rather than 6 because it's allowed me to kind of go back and forth here between these delicas. Delicas have big holes, but the 6-pound is also kind of thick. So So I think this 4-pound is better, at least for me and all the mistakes I'm making right now. Not all the mistakes, but something happened with this base row back here. But it's no big deal. Just fix it. You know, it's a ladder stitch, so you just have to re-ladder. Kind of come in and fix it. Right? Ain't no thing. It's okay. It's just that I'm showing it to you. Whoops, that needs to go there. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time in my beading. It's just knowing how to fix them. You know, don't panic. There we go. Look at that row. That base row looks like it should. Right? That's good. Let me lay this down. Let me focus it. I had a little bit of a spill with my beads. There we are. I think it looks good. Thanks, Margaret. Those are nice words. I'm going to stretch for a second. Pull my shoulders down from around my ears. Stretch. Take a drink of coffee. We're almost done with this row. I want to get a couple of the shaped rows. Not the shaped rows, but the picture rows. While I'm doing this, let me talk to you a little bit about the creating of this thing. Oh, that's a nice offer, Karen. That's great. People can reach out to you. Love. I love to knit, but first I have to finish my Fair Isle vest. But I will. I always say in the summer, I'm going to finish it this summer so I can wear it next fall. So that's what I'm going to say again. I'm going to finish it this summer. I'm just going to go ahead and just end this by going around in a circle. Get some tension on the thread, like that. Go back on itself, and then I'll cut this thread. Though, I don't know, maybe I should keep it. Though I feel like I have the tendency to tangle it. So I think I will cut it. Let me just come in, clip it. There we go, but I'm going to keep this needle threaded, and we'll go back to here. This is where I started with that thread, so I'm going to clip it. And I'm going to finish that row. So making the pattern, what I did is I found a copyright-free clip art that was a butterfly shape that I liked. And I put the butterfly shape. So what you do with this program is you can get a picture and put it behind the graph. And you can have it automatically fill in, or you can fill it in. So what I did was I had it automatically filled in, and it was kind of a mess. So I went in and kind of corrected it. And then I added all of this interior. So essentially I turned all of this black, all of the butterfly black, and then I went in and added the colors and stuff. So it was actually pretty easy to do, right? I might alter it a little bit, maybe, but we'll see. And color-wise and stuff, you can use whatever colors and stuff you want to do, right? It'll be fun. Yeah, Janice is going on a yoga retreat. I'm super jealous. Yoga retreat would be so fun about right now. That'll be great. I can't wait for you, Janice, to get away and have some relaxation and not think about us while you're gone. It's going to be a fun trip. Okay, so we go through. Yeah, I'm glad I took the time to fix that. It was just not right. I'm also going to have to add thread actually pretty soon. Not quite yet, but I want to get to that point. I always like showing you how to change thread. I don't want you to worry about changing threads. It's just, especially on a project like this, you just have to know how to change threads, add threads, right? It's okay. Don't let that strike fear into your heart. There we go. Go in between, go under the thread bridge. You want this base row that you've done to be pretty tight. You want just enough room, though, to get your needle underneath, which is why my size 10 needle was a little too heavy of a gauge. See, that size 12 just goes right under that thread bridge. Right? No, thanks, Margaret. It wasn't too bad. I would have, there was no way to move forward unless I fixed it, because that bottom row would have been all wonky and it would have just looked terrible. So I just can't go forward without fixing it. Some little imperfections I can go with, right? But some you just can't. They just halt you in your tracks. I did pull that thread, though, pretty tight. So these thread bridges are a little tight, but that's okay. Fireline, what I have noticed is Fireline does not stretch, right? KO, I think you can get a little bit of stretch out of it sometimes, but not even really then either. Okay. This is good. Yeah, Karen's saying I always have to go over a starting ladder stitch to firm it up. Yeah, I did, and I firmed it, but I feel like maybe this section when I firmed it, I don't know, my rhythm was off, and maybe I stitched it wrong or something happened, but it's fixed now. But definitely firming up your first ladder stitch row before you start to brick stitch is the way to go. And I think if I start this again, when I do this again, the first 2 rows will be the 2 rows of ladder, because on the pattern I have 4 rows of just plain white. I'm not going to put the next row in, but if I had done 2 rows, the base row would have been a little bit easier, I think, to deal with too. Right? I was also thinking about doing some brick stitch letters when I was playing around with the charting. I think doing like an little initial badge or something might be kind of fun. I don't even know what time it is. Wow, it's after 12. It took me an hour and a half just to get this far. Well, I'll get one of the colored rows and then I'll see where I'm at. Because I'm really curious to see what the black Picasso looks like. I could have started with a smaller piece too, but why be easy? I've never done this, like these pictures and stuff in brick stitch before. Earrings, yes, all day long. But let me scoot back. There we go. Get it here. Yeah, speaking of meditation, this definitely takes patience. Come on, come under there. For the camera, I should have gone with my initial tendency for the thread color. I should have gone with smoke because it's all of this white bead on white fire lines a little hard to see. But I'm getting there. Smoke would have probably been faster for me. But it's all right. This isn't a race. This is a Saturday stitch-in. It's just me working on a piece. Right? So this, and through. Almost there. Then we'll take a look at the pattern and we'll take a look at some colors. And when I have finished checking the pattern, hopefully I'll have it done for the newsletter tomorrow. Okay? I'll add the pattern on. Speaking of which, and I meant to link it in the newsletter today, but I'll link it in the newsletter tomorrow. If you have not downloaded, because they're not download available yet, if you didn't open your newsletter on Thursday, do so, because the episode notes that I wrote up, whoops, that's not right. I only put one on there. The notes that I wrote up from our pearl knotting part 2 of the masterclass, I kind of did a notes summary. Whoops, I screwed that up. Let me take this out so I don't find myself in a jam. And I link them in the newsletter on Thursday. I will go ahead and link them on the masterclass page. Right? So you can see them there. And I have part 1 started. I'll go back and do part 1. I just haven't quite had the time, but it's on my list. But let me know if you found them helpful at all, if you took a look at them, if you have any feedback. I was just really trying to give an overview because there was that particular masterclass. It felt like there was a lot of info. There's a lot of dense info in there. So I hope that was helpful. But let me know what you think. Alita, I know you're coming to the retreat, right? I think you are. I think I was going through everybody who's there, who's signed up. We were talking about what we're going to be doing for the retreat. On Sunday afternoon, we're going to take, for those who want to take a little bit of a break, I'm going to lead a little downtown excursion into San Juan Bautista. Downtown is it's not really, well, it's town and we're going down the hill. So yeah, it'll be fun. There's a lot of fun little shops. We're going to start at the Mission in San Juan Bautista and we'll look at the Mission Square and then we'll have some shopping time. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. And if you want to I can talk to the ladies at there's a fabric store there that's really fabulous, a quilt store. I think usually it's closed on Sundays, but I can always ask them if we want to do a stop by. I could ask them if they would open for us for a little bit. Or we can go, or you can run down there on Saturday too. But I think they're closed on Sundays and Mondays. You could also, if you're coming in early for the retreat, you could go on Friday beforehand. It's a nice little quilt shop. It's called Family Threads. It's a nice one. She carries more traditional fabrics rather than modern quilt fabrics. But it's nice. It's a nice little store for sure. Alrighty, I think I've come to the end of this. Thank goodness. All right. And I'm going to weave in and out. I'm going to start a new thread. Okay. Well, I need to stretch for a second here. Oh. There we are. Oh, I was stretching and yawning. Everybody take a stretch. My shoulders were up around my ears. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Let me look at. Oh, thank you, Dawn. I'm looking at everybody's comments here. I've been so hyper focused on this. So thank you for that nice comment. Yeah, learning how to fix. No, it's really true. I agree. You need to know how to fix. And this is it's a nice base row for sure. And I could come in and I could even do like a picot or something around the top. So I'm not worried. Oh, and thank you, Janice. Oh, pardon me. Oh, I gotta get some oxygen here. It was fun. We delved into the knotting with the spooled silk. Next month for April, it'll be the first Wednesday of the month, we'll be doing the Griffin silk and giving it that same treatment, right? Let's see. I'm going to go down here. All right, so let's take a look. I'm going to add some thread. And let me get another drink of coffee. I'm going to add some thread, and let's do at least the top couple of rows. This is done in single drop, right? Because you can see how this, it's like little bricks, they're offset. So I can't really do 2-drop for this pattern. It needs to be the single. And I think that the single gives you a little more detail and stuff as well, right? So yeah. Let me see. Okay. So I'm going to call this that side. And I'm going to add some thread. Now, the way that I add thread is I'll come in and I need to weave my thread out. So I'll need to bring my thread up through here. Let's see, is this my 2-drop? This is my 2-drop. I need to weave it up through here. There we go. Like so. So this is where I need to weave my thread to start. I always weave my new thread in first and then my old thread out so that I know where I'm starting and stopping. Okay, so I'm going to come in here just at this base row, weave it in, because I forget where my thread is supposed to go. Some people weave their thread out first and then add the new thread, but I always put the new one in first so I know where I'm headed. Let's see. There we go. I got that twisted a little bit. So I'm going to weave this in and out. Get some tension on this thread so it doesn't come out. And I'm going to do this, go up here, down this one, and I'm going to go up all these three. See that there? Now, I'll put that new thread aside. I'll get my old thread and I'll just weave it down. 1, 2, come on, 3, and then I'll go up here. Okay. And then I'll take this needle off. I'll pull it under tension and clip. And I'll do the same thing here with this one. Okay. So now, let's take a look at the pattern. Let me zoom out a little bit. And yeah, so the comment here was, it's interesting making the background as well. I usually brick stitch like just the butterfly. We could do that with the shape for sure. I wanted this to be, in my head, I was thinking more like a picture, right? So I made this square or rectangular, right? You could just isolate the butterfly portion of this and make it a shaped butterfly, which might be cool. I might try that next. But I can't remember who asked. Maybe it was Caroline who was asking earlier, like, are we making a beaded patch? So this could be a patch, right? So we could stitch this down to some ultra suede or something like that, right? Something like that. So, yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. All experimenting. So Linda's watching us from Sydney. Good morning. I think it's tomorrow there, right? Is it the 9th there already? I believe. So let me see. I'm going to go from this side, I guess. Right? It doesn't really matter. I could start from one side or the other because this is just the top. It is. It's Sunday morning the 9th. Well, happy tomorrow, Linda. Love to see you here. So now I have to really keep account of what's going on. Okay. So I'm going to move everything over here and here. It is International Women's Day, and what a better way to spend it than with some of my favorite women and men here being creative, right? Love it. So I've got a ruler here, and I'm going to use my ruler, and this is going to be how I count my rows or keep my rows straight, right? This ruler has a little bit of weight to it, so I can see, there it is, right? You could also use, like with knitters, you can get this tape. It's like a highlighter tape, and you can move it below. So you move it below each row, but I'm going to just do it this way. Okay. So let's see. Let's hope I don't screw this up. It took me like an hour and a half to get to this row. I thought about doing it ahead of time, but I thought, oh no, it's not going to take me very long. And they'll want to see how I do it. It took me an hour and a half. So let me count here. 1, 2, 3 white. So I'll stitch. Let me see if I can rearrange this. The board is a little big. Let me cover that. Back. Let me at least have this corner. Hopefully it won't fall. My little thing, so I really love this, but my thread caught on it and kind of jumped up, and so now I have a jumble of my things. So I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try and use it again, but it got a little bit away from me. Post-its would be great, Diane. That's a great one, right? I agree. So I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go 3. So the first row in brick stitch is always 2. So I'm going to put 2 on, go through the first thread bridge, and up. And I go up here. And my next one, number 3, is a white. Under the thread bridge. I know I'm a little zoomed out, but I thought I was a little close. Okay. So now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like there's 8 black beads. I'm just going to write myself a little bit of a note. 8 black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 white. I would guess that this isn't exactly centered here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then there's 7 black and 2 white. So I think that this program also writes the program out. Okay. So we'll see. Yeah, I like this foam board. This does lift out. It's just that little foam thing. And we can get these, we've carried these bead mats before. We can get these back in. I really like this idea. Maybe it fits better like that in there. See, I had it kind of out. Maybe it fits better here. I don't know. The mat I like a lot. Really light. So yeah, okay. So let me put these on. So 3 white, which I did. I need to stitch in 8 black. So we're going to put in, this is the Picasso. And yeah, I'm going to see how this works. I mean, I've never made a pattern before. This was all inspired by Danielle Wickes and her pattern writing. So she has a picture pattern and she has like the rows marked and all of that. So I'm going to see. I mean, this you can just count for sure, but I'll see. I'll at least put the bead picture up for you, but I want to make sure that it's right. Yeah, you use Loomerly, Diane. This is bead This is bead, what's it called? Bead Tool. I think that Danielle might use Loomerly as well. I'm not sure. Bead Tool also does this, but it was kind of my first go round with it. So I wasn't, I haven't completed it yet. So 1, 2, you turn it so it's, gosh, these beads are small. 2, right? They feel small. I like this Picasso. I wanted the butterfly to have a little bit of texture, but I can tell already that I like this. But I urge you, if you haven't, did I put this under the right one? Oh, no, it's caught. That's why. If you haven't played around with making your own patterns, it feels kind of fun to do it, What happened here, though? Hang on, I got to get this close to my eyes. Something happened that was not right. Download our templates, and you can play around with coloring them in. Be kind of a good start. But Danielle was definitely the inspiration for this. I'm trying to fix it. Don't just take this out and I'm going to get myself into a bigger muddle if I try and fix it with the needle on it, right? So I think, well, maybe this is right. There we go. Okay. Ta-da. Yeah. Oh, Danielle does use bead tool number 4. Okay, well, that's good to know. That's what I'm using. I bought a license for it like years ago. I think back in like 2017, 2018. So it's been a while that I've had it, and this is the first bead pattern I've ever made on it. But, eventually it all comes together, right? So here's this. It does feel very like needle pointy, right? I usually don't do a pattern, but I'm excited to see how this comes out, especially spurred on by the fact that Carolyn said bead patch. I'm super into that. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more. I want to see how this looks too, how this translates from the picture to the real beads. Like, does this look like the chart? Is it going to be kind of funky looking? Will the proportions be off? 1, let me count the thread bridges. It's easier on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 2 more. 7 and 8. 2, 3, 6, 7. 1 more after this. Now, speaking of knitting and Fair Isle knitting, or whoops, sorry, I'm out of frame. Sorry about that. You're knitting a pattern. Well, that's in Tarja. You're knitting a pattern or a picture into your knitting. But Fair Isle, you're also like going back and forth with different colors and stuff like that, right? So you kind of have to think 2-dimensionally. One of the things that you also do when you're knitting Fair Isle is you anticipate, like especially when we're going to be doing the other colors. Let me move this camera a little bit. When we're doing these other colors here, this is kind of I tried to mirror them, right? So this is here. This is kind of mirrored. It's a little off though, right? There's like 2 here and 3 here because the rows are kind of offset, but you kind of anticipate, right? So, what your count is here is the count here, only it's reversed. So same thing here. What I'm going to do is, as I work my way across, I know that here I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 9 beads away when I switch colors from here. If that makes sense, I don't know, but you kind of get into a rhythm with it. Oh, here comes Chris. We've got some kind of a package, a delivery. Let's see, did I go under? What happened here? I went under and then I put a bead on. I don't know what that was all about. Hang on. I went back eye of the needle first. Let's see. Yes, it worked. Oh, sorry. I'm out of frame. I'm just going to finish this row and then I'm going to take a break. So we'll finish this one. I'll work on it a little bit more and stay tuned to the newsletter tomorrow for a progress report. Okay. As soon as I have this finished, or at least close to finished, and I know it's going to look okay, I'll publish the pattern. I'll see if I can get it with the number counts, with the row counts. I'll see. If Danielle can do it, I can do it, right? Her patterns always look so nice. So, but I bet Bead Tool can do it for me. Maybe on your first one, use contrasting thread. I'm going to like how it looks, though, on the finish because, oh yeah, I can move the coupon code. Let me do that. Let me take that off. There we go. Be a little bit easier to see. So this was 32 white, right? 32 across. And don't forget to take breaks. I have been sitting for about my limit. If I were wearing my Apple Watch would have told me to stand up at least twice. So you've got to take breaks frequently. So just a reminder of everything I'm using here, and you can kind of play around. I know that you have delicas at home, but you could use, whoops, I didn't mean to hit the camera. You could use rocales, round ones. You could use delicas in 8. You could probably even use little cubes. 1.8 cubes would work. 6s, go down to 15s, though 15s, oh, tiny. Whatever, but you just have to use the same bead going throughout, right? So download a template, color it in, or just do a little practice. Just do like a really simple pattern. You don't have to do something this big. Of course, I jumped in with both feet, not realizing that it takes about the time it takes per row, but that's all right. This is just a stitch in. It's not a race. Our delicas, not only our delicas, but all Miyuki are on sale if you're watching me live. It is Saturday, March 8th. And our delicas are 22 off with coupon Miyuki22, and that coupon code is good until midnight Pacific time on Sunday, the 9th. Remember, tomorrow here in the US, we spring forward. Clocks are moving forward. So remember that I guess they go forward at 2 a.m., right? Not at midnight. I don't know. I can't remember. I just fix the clocks before I go to bed. And then, my phone and your Apple Watch, everything that's connected jumps forward. I think I always change the time in my car, but I think Chris's car, the time will be right. I think. There we go. Whoops. Did I go up that bead? Yeah. Next week, we've got a lot of fun stuff coming. I'm going to be dropping a few more studio drops next week. We've got Janice's really beautiful wrap bracelet coming up soon. If you didn't see Friday's Free Tip Friday, and I'm not sure where we are with our briolette drop that we did, but let me get this piece. It's up as a project right here. If you saw this one, there we go. We still have a few of the briolettes left, not many. So I'm really glad that you folks love them. I think I will be adding some more of those to our regular stock, so hang tight for those. We will be doing more pearl tutorials, Karen. Janice and I will have part 3 the first Wednesday in April. We'll be doing part 3 of our masterclass. And if you haven't already, make sure that you download from Thursday's newsletter, and I'm going to add it to the website as well. It just takes me a little bit of time, but you can access it through the newsletter, the notes from that class day. So a lot of fun tutorials coming up, a lot of fun product coming up. I'm also wearing the Gatsby cuff. I'm going to put that on as a finished piece as well. That was the Saturday stitch-in, or did I do it on Friday? I did it on Friday, Free Tip Friday, a week ago. So the broadcasts are up. I'm looking into getting some more really interesting pieces to do another kind of crazy mix like the Gatsby mix. I've gotten emails from a lot of you asking about more Gatsby mix. Okay, there's something funny there that I don't like, so let me pull this out. Yeah, I didn't go back up that bead. This is a medium, Clarissa. This is the medium briolette. You are correct. Yeah, I didn't go back up that one. That's the medium drop. It's a good size for the necklace. I also have some more pearls coming. I don't know if you folks love Keshi pearls as much as I do, but I've got a bunch of pearls that are on the smaller side, including Keshi. And Keshi are ones that are kind of, they almost look, it's not a very elegant way of describing them, but they kind of look like little wavy chips, potato chips, kind of. I love them. They add so much texture. So I got some Keshi that I think you're going to like. I need to just confirm the project I want to show with that. Okay, so there's that. I love it that everybody is gathering worldwide, right? Here we are, just beating, right? Love it. Thank you. We've got 100 of you. People have come and gone during this broadcast, but we've got a bunch of you that have kind of stayed through this whole time. I know this was like super long, but hopefully you've learned something. We've had a nice time visiting in the chat. I need 32, so let's see where I'm at. I'm going to turn to count. It's a little bit easier for me when I count my rows like this to hold it to the side. And I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. 25. Whoops. There we go. 26. I keep catching this. My trick for that, don't forget that was number 26. I'll kind of hold that tail between these two fingers. I'll maybe keep it out of the way. 26, so this is 27. $28. 29. 30. 2 more. There we go. 2 more. Now I have 7 after one more of these. Okay, now let's go back to the, there we go. So I'm going to get this here. Let's see. So I needed 7. So let me make sure this is right. I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and yep, 2 at the end. Perfect. All right. And that's what I kind of mean about anticipating. I know that I had 2 white on the end, so I have enough room for 7 of the dark ones here, right? So let me get in here. Let me get in a little bit tighter, and we'll do that for the last ones. I kind of made a mess on my beadboard, but it's all right. Doesn't matter. I could also weave this little end in, which is kind of making me crazy. I'll probably do that. 7. Right? Yeah, it'll be good to stand up. It's a good thing my office chair is comfy. but it's time to go on a little walk after this. Three. Once you get into the pattern too, it gets a little more interesting. This is just kind of, a long, not boring, but a kind of a long drive, right, in between changing beads. But once you get down into the butterfly pattern, it becomes a little more interesting and a little more challenging, which is good. So that's 4. I need 3 more. Two more. And a final black one. And then the last 2 cream AB. I also wanted the background to have a lot of contrast, which is why I chose this white. Well, it's not white, it's cream. And this cream is the cream AB. So it has a little bit of shine to it. And then the white that I'm going to use in the butterfly is the matte. So it'll be a little bit of a subtle change. Okay, that row's done. So let's take a look. There's that. Not bad for a morning's work, right? Let me go up. I think the black Picasso beads are exactly right about how they're going to look. Here's our butterfly. Here's our first row. So you can kind of see the variation. Let me fix it. Focus here. All right. So it's a good place to take a screenshot if you want. And I'm going to keep working on it. But look, I think it's going to look good. Not bad. I've done 4 rows. It's been 2 hours. Good Lord. What was I thinking? Anyways, so that's my story, my friends. Oh, that's good to know. Dawn Loomerly requires you to have an Apple product. That's good to know. I do have, we're all Apple here, but the Bead Tool 4, you do pay for a license for it, but yeah, I'll see. I bought mine so long ago, so but I'm finally using it, so I'm glad of that. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think this will look great as a patch. I think also I'll be able to go a little bit faster. I'll let you know how long it will take. I think I'll be able to go a little bit faster if I'm not like stitching, keeping an eye on the chat, trying to figure out the lighting and everything. So we'll see. And it set me back a little bit making a couple of those mistakes, but yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this, our stitch in. I'm going to go have some lunch. Yeah, take a little bit of a walk, breathe some air. See, Chris looks like he's been working in the yard, so it'll be fun. And I'm so glad that you folks enjoyed our time today. Do make sure you can use that Miyuki 22 to save on all Miyukis in stock at Bead Shop this whole weekend. It expires tomorrow night, Sunday night at midnight Pacific time. Also, do not forget, you can find us all over social. Hit us up on our Facebook group, The Bead Table, our Instagram at beadshop.com, our Pinterest pages. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification button right here on YouTube, wherever you're watching us from, so you do not miss a broadcast. If you have any questions, we're only on the other side of your computer at info@beadshop.com. We try and take the weekends off. I know we check the emails this morning, even though it's Saturday. But if you don't hear from us over the weekend, you email us on the weekend, we get to you back to you first thing on Monday. So that's the story. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thank you, folks, so much for joining me today. And I will see you on Wednesday on Bead Shop Live. Thank you so much. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.